Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night and we talk to you about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Tonight we'll be following, I'll show you my panel member this in a second. Jerome Parvard joins me. But we've got our Facebook feed sliding at the moment and a number of folks are on Facebook with us just commenting as we listen to what they have to say. So some interesting things coming through at the moment. Right, so coming up tonight, before we go to the highlights of our games, big thanks to Hisense on board with Cape Rugby TV as the technical partner. Score Energy Drinks, of course, Score is on board with Cape Rugby TV, as you know. And of course, you'll see many of the Score images behind me on the jersey, as well as, of course, Score on board with the West Province Club Rugby Sevens. That comes up a little bit later in the year. Dulux Maitland at number 30 Coburg Road. You want all your paint supplies sorted out, go to Dulux Maitland at number 30 Coburg Road. MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of Durbell and the N1. You can see the MChem logo from far away. 24 hours open. And, of course, Springbok Atlas. You'll see a beautiful Springbok Atlas logo behind me a little bit later on the show. Of course, Springbok Atlas available for all of your bus transport. Let me introduce you to my panel this evening. Or panelee. Hello, Jerome. Hoe gaan we, meneer?
Hi, JP. Not too good. A bit of flu. So I might go make a turn at MChem later. But I must say, it's amazing what the Score did. I had a few sips of Score now. And it just opened up a bit. I was feeling a bit drowsy. Yeah, I had a few sips of Score, and I must say I feel better now. So yeah, hopefully the Score will get me through the show tonight.
Yeah, no, well, it's like having a couple of cups of coffee.
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
my Score energy drink. Sometimes I start talking too much. Anyway, there you go, folks. Springbok Atlas behind me right now. If you need any bus transport bookings, we're looking through our Facebook feeds here today. Manny Williams is on board with us. Emil Krotz is on board with us. Nico Groenewald, Alice Michaels, Fakhri Smith, Snoop. Graham Knoop. So a lot of folks commenting on Facebook, and we'll try and bring that into the show a little bit later, or at least during the course of the show. So we've got folks watching live, and we're doing the broadcast live at the same time. Not live, but we're doing the broadcast at the same time. So a lot of interesting comments coming in. Right, the games that we went to look at are, of course, UCT played against Hamilton's on Saturday, so we'll take a look at the highlights. Jerome is also going to do technical reviews for us this evening, but our highlight game for the week was Rugby up against Eerste Rivier. We'll speak to the Eerste Rivier captain Jeremy Schuller, the Eerste Rivier coach Pedro April, as well as Rugby captain Brevin Titus and Rugby coach Hein Gordon. So interviews are coming up a little bit later with coaches and captains. But before we move to Rugby and Eerste Rivier, let's take a look at the results in Super League A this past weekend. The results there then, Brackenfell UCT, you will know about that result. NTK went down to Stellenbosch last week, Wednesday. Results from the weekend. Big result for Stellenbosch over Belhar, 148 points to 3. False Bay, 45-15 over NTK. SK Warmers 25-23 over UWC. UCT went down to Hamilton's 39-17, and then Vix with a win over Brackenfell, 34 points to 28. So those are your results in Super League A. Let's take a look at the highlights in the match between UCT and Hamilton's over the weekend. Right, welcome back, everybody. Of course, UCT Hamilton's played this weekend. A win there for Hamilton's, 39 points to 17. Jerome, Hamilton's at the moment, they seem to be comfortable on the log. Your feeling on the game?
Yeah, it's strange that Hamilton's is almost playing like UCT wanted to play. They sort of beat them with their own sort of game plan and running the ball from with inside their 22 and just keep the ball alive and poor defense a couple of times there, as I see from UCT, because in the centers I think Hamilton exploited that a lot during the game.
Yeah.
And the set pieces also, I think Hamilton's just a bit too strong in the scrums. Scrum them and they got good momentum off that scrum balls. And I just think Hamilton's also a bit better than UCT in the lineouts. If I just look at the lineouts, UCT didn't cover the back ball and Hamilton's was good in taking that back ball. So
right, we went through the rest of the results. Let's quickly take a look at the logs. Stellenbosch now sitting at the top of the pile with 46 points to 42. Didn't take them long to get to that point. Durban sitting at number 2, False Bay at number 3, and then Hamilton's in 4th place, followed by Union Mill, UCT. The guys that are challenging to get into the top spots there, to make it in the top 6 at the moment, Vix, Brackenfell, Tygerberg, and SK Warmers. Will they make it? SK Warmers is going to have to win every single game still to be able to get into the top 6. Right, folks, we're going to take a look at some of the technical analysis. Jerome, we got lucky to have Jerome on the show with us here, and he is, of course, well tuned when it comes to rugby analysis. Jerome, the first component that we pulled out here was the line out. And I think you can give us a little bit of comment. Let's take a look first. Let's take a look at this line out highlights, or it's not highlights, review. UCT against Hamilton's. Right, Jerome. What do you pull out? What do you pull out of that?
yeah, with that 4-man line out, it's you're not supposed to. Or I always say to my guys, you're not supposed to lose your 4-man line out. But great contesting by Hamilton's. But the reason why you do the dummy, like the UCT did the dummy back, but the space was at the back and they still come forward. So I think a lot of the time teams pre-call, but that's the problem with if you pre-call and you stick to the call, and Hamilton just followed them and went up in front. So they should have taken the back ball, which it was on in the beginning.
So at which stage do you decide? Are you saying that they lost the ball because they made the wrong line-out call?
No, it's the right call, but
Yeah.
I say sometimes team pre-call. Normally from a kickoff you pre-call, but you can pre-call, but you must also equip your player to see where the space is.
So when is the best time to decide where you're going to call? Is it just as you're doing the line-out, or?
Yeah, you can normally or your hooker. If they pre-call it, normally you have your hooker to cancel,
Right.
and take the ball at the back if you see that they sort of give you that back ball. Because that back ball was on.
All right, let's take another look. Let's take a look at the clip again here, folks. And you can just have a look, so we can all just try and understand what exactly it is that Jerome is talking about.
As I say, Hamilton's never intend to close that back ball. They were always going to close that front ball.
Oh, right, okay.
So they did everything right. It was a perfect dummy to the back.
Yeah.
But then they should have just taken that ball at the back, because Hamilton's didn't. They actually followed them to the front. So they should have just taken that back ball in the first place.
So
and
they
not
could have changed their call.
Yeah,
when they were on the line-out to see, because they saw the
Yeah.
Hamilton's guys all at the front of the line-out.
There's normally where your hooker comes in
Right.
and he just say cancel, because he can see from the front that they're not closing that back ball.
Okay,
So
that's
they could have taken
that's
that.
interesting. The hooker should make a change to the call if he sees that there's guys going to contest
Yeah.
on the place that he's calling the
Yeah.
call. Okay,
So-
the next highlight we've got here is, of course, one of the scrums. Let's take a look at the senior. what are we seeing here? What are we looking at?
I would say that first scrum is a great scrum from Hamilton's. They could have they could have milked the penalty because they had momentum in the scrum.
Yeah.
So they could have kept the ball and just keep on scrumming, milk the penalty, and make it kick it out, or take another scrum. But I think they did the right call with the backs there, because they could see that their 10, 12 and 13 were very tight, and sort of the 14 was in the line also, where your 14 is supposed to hang back a little bit to close that kick space. So he put the 15 under a lot of pressure to cover there. But Hamilton's did well to exploit the centre there. There was bad tackling in the midfield of UCT.
Let's take a look at that again, if we can just try and identify exactly where it is that you're talking about. So what are we doing wrong there? We're saying that the number 14 should have stayed out wide, because it looked to me like there was a player missing. There was a centre not in the line.
No, the centre was in the line, but he was so tight.
But there was only one centre.
No, there were two. 10.
Two, where's the fly off?
The 10. That's why it looked like that. It looked like there's a man short, because they were so tight. Because 10, normally 10 and 12 can be tight.
Yeah.
And then your 13 is a bit wider, with 14 dropping a bit back. That's why you didn't see the 13, because it looked like he's next to 12.
Right.
So that is poor defense by Hamilton's. They actually explored it, but the sort of the space were on the outside, so they could have just play normal hands and went through again. That's the pre-call, and that's how you must equip your players to look at the space, because the space was actually out wide.
All right, so folks, I'm hoping you're all understanding what Jerome is talking about, because I'm certainly starting to get confused. Give it to me in 10 seconds. What's the rule? What do you do?
No,
keep your line, keep accurate spaces.
If you attack,
yeah.
you first of all you look at this. You must have a spatial awareness, and that's your 10. He must see before he goes and stick his head into the ground. He must look at how the opposition line up and where the wing is. Right. If the wing is in the line, normally you can chip it over, or if he's also tight, then you play it wide. So it was actually on wide. And another thing, on a line break, you're supposed to score. That was an easy try. But the rest of the Hamilton's players were just walking back, hanging back, because they think that they're going to score. The UCT 15 did well to cover there and to tackle the guy.
Okay, so two things that jump out for me there is the defensive line of UCT at the time. Too tight. And then perhaps not enough players running on to support as Hamilton's were making the attack.
If there's a line break. And again,
so we've got one more clip to look at here, which is another line out. Let's take a look at this and see if we can give us a little bit of input there. Jerome, you can see there the line out was, of course, a UCT ball. Give us a quick snapshot of that.
Yeah, it's a great line out. Sort of it's a 56 line out with a 5-man line out with a number 6 at scrum off. So if you see a number 6 at scrum off, most of the time it's going to be a maul. So they're going to maul that ball. So then on the defensive side, you need to be jacked up. If you're going to give them that back ball, then your last supporter there, like UCT actually went to go score off that maul, great maul of. So your back guy is supposed to, which we call sack, supposed to get the guy down onto the ground immediately in one movement.
And you can only sack a player once his feet are on the ground. All right.
Exactly.
Okay, folks. So we're getting through. We've had a lot of requests for technical analysis. This was our first go at it, and we're going to take a little bit more time to prepare for the technical analysis going going forward, but great to have Jerome here. We're also going to do some technical analysis on the Rugby Eerste Rivier game. That's going to come up a little bit later. Right now, don't forget, of course, Springbok Atlas is on board with Cape Rugby TV. For those of you that need your bus transport from wherever you are, and we know a lot of every team is playing away. You might be playing from up on the west coast to through to the Cape Winelands area. You do need transport, so Springbok Atlas is on board there. You remember, you can get hold of Rashad Lucky at Springbok Atlas. They've got safe, reliable transportation with negotiable rates all over South Africa and lots of different vehicle sizes. Just give Rashad Lucky a call on 506 2572, or you can email him rashad.lucky@springbokatlas.co.za. So that number again, for those of you that need bus transport for your clubs and special rates. I'm looking forward to seeing the teams come down to Newlands this year and come in mass, and you can have make sure that you get a lot of buses to bring all your fans. All right, that number again for Rashad Lucky at Springbok Atlas is 506 2572. We'll be back after the break and we'll take a look at the highlights between Rugby and Eerste Rivier.
One of our greatest assets are our fans, the faithful, and we really wanted to create something unique, something world-class, a supporter club that engaged and interacted with all our fans, not only within the Western Cape, but regionally, nationally, and in fact internationally. We have the best fans in the world, and we believe we put together the most amazing, unique and innovative supporter program, and we call on you to stand together with us. Are you one of the faithful?
Right, welcome back everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV Wednesday nights, and we talk to you about what's happening in the world of West Bromwich Club Rugby. We've got quite a few people following us on Facebook at the moment with the Facebook Live and just throwing in their comments. Lee Motta is on with us, Stanton Lesh is on with us, Nico Groenewald, Ignatius Thomas is watching us, Nico Desmond Titus is watching us, Snoop, Graham Snoop, David John, a whole bunch of folks watching us at the moment on Facebook Live and posting their comments. In studio with me is, of course, Jerome Parvater. We're looking at some technical analysis tonight, which is a new thing for Cape Rugby TV, just to give you a little bit of, we've had so many requests for referees analysis, analysis for laws of the game, equipment analysis, all sorts of analysis. But of course, this weekend it was Eerste Rivier up against Rugby, both of the teams flying high at the moment, and we'll ask Jerome Parvater to also do a little bit of analysis for us on that game. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Rugby, of course, had home ground advantage against Eerste Rivier. of course, Eerste Rivier playing against Rugby there at the moment. It's been a real performance from both those sides. Jerome, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, before I get to the game, JP, I must just say to Rugby, they're blessed to have a field like that with that setting, with the mountains in the background. It really looks stunning. Just on the game, it looks more like one-way traffic, like it's only one team on the field, the way Rugby was running there. Poor defense from East River. I think they've got a lot of work to do on defense, but take nothing away from Rugby. They've run good angles and some great tries there. The last try that we saw there, a switch from 11 to 9. But it's like it's only things that you see in international rugby. The try that they scored there with that sort of a back pass to 9. So great skills there, and that's now like what I said with Rugby running their angles and great spatial awareness on where they are and how they play.
Yeah, let's take a look at the second half highlights now, folks. Right, folks, let's catch up now with Eerste Rivier captain Jeremy Schuller and Eerste Rivier coach Pedro April.
Ja, die game was baie tyd. Ons het dit ge-expect dat die game so tyd gaan wees. Altyd as ons na Rugby toe kom, dan gee hulle vir ons 'n reuse wedstryd hierso. So vandag het my manne opgedag, hulle het opgedag. Ek dink ons het net 'n bietjie laat wakker geskrik vandag. Ek dink ons motto by ons klub is Rivers nuwe quote. Julle sal dit altyd hoor. So die ouens gee nie op nie. Ek sê maar altyd vir die ouens, 'n mens faal net. Want dit is op op try man. Van elke keer dan try ons stry en so volgende jaar is nog 'n jaar vir ons. Ons het baie youngsters. Ek dink die inexperience het vandag 'n bietjie gewys. Ja, ek sal ook so sê, ek dink op die einde het die ouens baie honger en lus gewys in die wedstryd. Ek dink Rugby het 'n bietjie moeg geraak met hulle groot. Ons het geweet hulle is meer fisikaal as ons, so ons het maar geprobeer om die game vinnig te maak in die tweede helfte. Dit het nog gewerk, maar die tyd was 'n bietjie uit soos ek vroeër gesê het, die tyd het uitgehardloop vir ons. Ja, mens droom mos maar altyd om die beste te wees man. Mens probeer altyd om in die topligas te beëindig en dit het nog nie vir ons so uitgewerk nie. So ek dink volgende jaar sal weer vir ons 'n kans. Ek weet ons het dit devoted management by ons klub, ons het devoted coaches wat maar altyd daar is en vir ons alles gee en ons players gee alles so. Ons tyd gaan kom. Die jaar is miskien nog nie ons tyd nie, maar ek glo altyd dat ons tyd gaan kom man.
Ja, kyk, dit is maar altyd 'n romslomp tussen familie. Ons is 'n groot familie in die hele streek. Ja, by tye vind ons mekaar op dieselfde plek en dieselfde tyd nie. Vandag het ons 'n gemeenskap bymekaar gekom, 'n groot groep mense van Eerste Rivier het gekom en vir Eerste Rivier Rugby Club support en ons waardeer dit en ons sê vir hulle baie dankie, nie net vir vandag nie, maar vir die hele jaar dat hulle ons ondersteun het deur dik en dun. En dan wil ons net vir Rugby sê geluk met die wen, geluk met die promosie, liga geleenthede wat julle kry. Gaan uit en geniet dit, doen wat julle gewoonlik goed doen. Aan ons boys, ons het niks om voor bang te wees nie, ons is niks om voor teleurgestel te wees nie. Ons het alles gegee wat ons het. Daar was meer niks oor nie. Die tyd het net vir ons uitgeloop en that's it. Maar dit beteken nie dat dit vandag vir ons geëindig het. Julle is 'n groep jong manne met 'n groot toekoms voor julle. Vandag het ons gewys in die tweede helfte hoekom ons sê Rivers never quit. En ons hou by ons motto, Rivers never quit. Vandag is dit miskien die einde van 1 of 2 players, maar dit is nie die einde van 'n majority van julle nie. So vandag wil ek vir julle sê baie geluk. Vandag, hulle sê altyd ons leer uit die moeilike omstandighede en vandag het dit gebeur. Ons het ongelukkig nie vandag ons kansse gebruik nie, maar dit beteken nie julle is losers nie. Kyk, as jy kyk na die game self, ons momentum in die eerste helfte het ons bietjie verloor met die start. Ek dink dit was 'n beginsel ding van ons het hulle te veel respek gegee. En hulle kon ons definitief overpower by die raak situasie en dan net in general play in term op defense. Het ons 1 of 2 keer omkant gevang op ons defensive lyne. Maar dit beteken nie die ouens is swak verdedigers nie. Hulle het miskien net nie die regte lyne op verdediging gehardloop vandag in die eerste 20 minute nie. Maar toe ons momentum kry, toe kon ons sien hoekom ons so 'n goeie jaar gehad het. Ongelukkig het ons nie bereik wat ons wou bereik het nie. Maar soos ek altyd sê, dit sal kom. Die manne moet net sterk wees en die manne moet net hou en hulle vertroue in die klub sit.
Well, it's in the league for the teams there, but certainly what a cracker of a game, Rugby and Eerste Rivier. Let's catch up now with the winning captain and coach, Brevin Titus and Hein Gordon.
Ek is net baie proud op die guys, vir al die youngsters. Dis almal ons youngsters wat 'n paar jare vir my, maar vir ons dopgehou, die ouer manne. Maar ek is so trots op ons youngsters wat deurkom en net rugby speel. Ja, hulle goed die lok goed geklim, ons geweet. As hulle kom, gaan hulle vir ons kom 'n bietjie surprise. First half het ons 'n bietjie advantage gevat van hulle 14 man met die geel kaart. Maar ons het geweet in ons agterkop hulle gaan kom, van hulle se team wat kom. Ek dink net ons is na heel jaar, ons het begin met pre-season met 6 man. Ons het gebou tot waar ons vandag is. En ek is trots op die ouens. En ons het net gewerk aan unity. En daai hele ding, belief, unity, ek dink daai het vir ons deurgedra. Ja nee, is magical vir my, want jy kan self sien hoe ons mense aangaan en rugby was al baie jare in rugby. So dit is maar die sport die so in rugby en wat die mense baie oor mal is. Ons wag eintlik lekker vir 'n groot challenge en ek dink die top 9 gaan 'n goeie challenge wees vir ons. Ons maak al so bietjie reg, maar ons sien uit in.
Ja, kyk, toe ek so 'n paar weke terug die lokdop toe begin ek sien die likes van Eerste Rivier, Whistling Wheels, Windmill en Coronations gehad wat nog so 'n mathematical kans gehad het om ons top 3 te vang. So ons het geweet dit gaan 'n game wees en dit het vir ons gekos hierdie week om meer in die manne se koppe te werk as wat ons tyd op die veld gespend het. Dinsdag aan byvoorbeeld het ons glad die veld gevat nie. Ons het net bietjie tyd met mekaar gespend, bietjie net om die bene bietjie vas te hou. Jy weet, want ons het geweet dit gaan 'n tawwe game wees en ons sal moet diep grawe om uit te kom. Kyk, ons speel nou al jare teen mekaar en oor die jare het al baie spelers van Eerste Rivier Rugby toe gekom en van Rugby af Eerste Rivier toe gegaan. So daar is baie emosie en baie trots en sentiment wat in hierdie game is. So ek het vir my manne byvoorbeeld gesê in die eerste helfte toe sê moenie dat die skool vir ons vlei en die drie vir ons vlei nie, want Eerste Rivier het die vermoë en definitief die talent om terug te kom in 'n game soos die. Ek dink vroeër in die jaar was dit een van die goals wat ons vir ons geset het om nie net die rugby op te tel nie, maar ook die community weer betrokke te kry. En omdat dit rugby so 'n klein plekkie is die rugby is een van die pillars, wil ek sê saam met die kerk, is die rugby een van die pillars in die community om die ouetjies besig te hou, die jonger ouetjies en so. Ja, is lekker om te sien hoe die community vir ons volg. En dis nie net uit rugby uit hier, dis uit Vergrove, Eerste Rivier, Makassa, sover so Strand en Somerset West, dat mense vir ons kom ondersteun. En ek meen die manne is baie dankbaar vir die ondersteuning wat ons kry van die community. Ja. Ons het so 'n bietjie begin al met beplanning vir die top 9. Maar ja, nou sit dit deurbring na die spelers toe en seker maak hulle is aan pa met wat die coaches wil hê.
If you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, then all you need to do is SMS the word SCORE to 33090. 33090, you win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. All right, so congratulations then to last week's winner, Melvin Green. Melvin wins a case of Score energy drinks. Melvin, somebody from Cape Rugby TV is going to be in touch with you shortly. We'll take an ad break. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV, and we're talking to you about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Don't forget, you can download the Cape Rugby TV mobile app. It's on your phone. Just go to iTunes or Google Play, and you'll be able to download the Cape Rugby TV mobile app that gives you all the scores, the results, the fixtures, news, and more. Let's quickly take a look at one of the lineouts from the match between Eerste Rivier and Rugby. Right, Jerome, what jumps out for me here is that it was a Eerste Rivier ball. They lost the ball ended up going to Rugby, and Rugby managed to get possession, and from there they, we don't know if they scored after that or not, but they certainly had an opportunity to score. What went wrong?
Yeah, what went wrong is was a Eerste Rivier ball, front ball, and obviously they have a sort of contesting pot opposite that front pot. Which they can still manage to take that ball, but just on the technical aspect, if you take a front ball, it's actually what we call a jump throw. So right. The guy jump first and then the hooker throw. So if you,
are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to jump before the hooker throws the ball?
Yeah, you're allowed.
Okay, so that's okay.
Yeah. The hooker mustn't mock, he must just stand still. So that's a jump throw. So he actually beat the guy with speed. So so that combination was wrong there. So just for the coaches there, if they're gonna do that front ball, it's on the jumper, not on the hooker. Right. And then the middle ball, if you throw a middle ball, it's on the hooker. Middle and back ball is on the hooker.
Let's take a look at another line out. Jerome, maybe you can give us a little bit of input on this one.
Yeah, on that line out,
it looked to me like a good line out.
Rugby did well to explore the space there, because they only have one supporter lifting there, where Rugby could see they could take that middle ball. But just another thing on that line out, that's a one where Richie McCoy, he scored on one line out like that.
Where he ran straight through.
But they still did that, but you can only do that. They did well to win the line out, but they're supposed to dummy forward, so that middle guy that's just standing there. So you have to pull him forward. So you dummy forward, take the middle ball or the back ball, then that supporter that's there in the middle of East River, he goes with that front pot because he must go support. He doesn't know if he's going to take that front ball. Then that hole open up.
We're gonna have to get a sketch pad or something. But positive play from Rugby though. Accurate ball, good line out jump, managed to get it. Maybe it's just a question of deciding on how you're going to make your move to take advantage of the win.
Yeah, they would have scored from that. It's on the right spot, that line out, so they would have scored.
Yeah.
But just a little bit of advice there is just to dummy forward, keep that guys there in front so that you open up the hole in the middle.
Right, folks, so a positive win then for Rugby. Right, let's take a look at the results in Super League B. Peniel Villagers went down to Young Peoples over the weekend. All Saints 30-31 loss. Very close win over there for Primrose. Belleville then beating Paarl 32 points to 27. Franschhoek with a big win over Kraaifontein 76-17. Helderberg 41-34 over Vineyards. And then Kales River 23-18 over Collegians. Jerome, let's just talk a little bit about that. Franschhoek, at least not Franschhoek, where am I? Paarl, log leaders in Super League B. We spoke about this last week. That Paarl could score an upset there, and it's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's. I was at that game, and then and I think teams know if they go to Belleville, you don't easily get points. But it was a bit of an upset because Paarl is an informed team, Belleville with a young team, so they did well to manage to get points. It was a very great game of rugby.
Let's quickly take a look at the logs now of where we stand in Super League B. It's Franschhoek at the top of the pile, Paarl, Helderberg, Kales River, Belleville. So the teams, still have a number of games to go before they find out the top three. And then, of course, Primrose, Young Peoples, and Vineyards. Interesting match coming up this weekend, Jerome, is going to be the match between Primrose and Kales River. If we look at the stats here between these two teams, you can see that Primrose got a home ground advantage over the weekend with a 67% win rate, and Kales River are playing away with a 70% win ratio. Now, what's interesting here is that these teams are sitting at position number 6 and 4 on the log. Season points so far are reasonably equal. Primrose does have a game in hand, but season points so far, the advantage does look like it's sitting in Primrose's favor with more log, even though they're lower on the log. This is an extremely important game for these teams to get themselves into a position where they can still contest for the top 3 spots. So with Kales River being at number 4, Primrose being at number 6, log point wise, they're not that far off the pile.
Yeah, it's strange that these two teams they're quite competitive in the league. It's strange that they're so low down the ranking order, but I think both teams, they're coached by 2 ex-players. Rito Nongwani is at Primrose, and Eastes is at Kales River. So they both forward. So I suppose it will be a clash of no one of them will want to lose this game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough one, but I think will pretty much be a decider this weekend on where they're going to end up on the log, who's going to go where.
Well, it's going to be fairly interesting, but let's quickly take a look at the log again, folks, and you'll see why it is that we're talking about this game being such an interesting game. Look at the log points: 37, 37, 36, 34, 33, 32. And then to Young Peoples, 27. So your top 7 positions in Super League B is only got a 10-point difference. So at this stage of the game, the teams like Vineyards, Young Peoples, even Hamlets, although Hamlets will have to work really hard, they only have a 10 to 11 or 12-point margin between themselves, as low as 9th place on the log to get into the top 3. And with another 4 games still to play, or 4 weeks still to play of rugby in Super League B, we could see a change in any of these top 3 spots. Let's take a look now at the results in Super League C. Blue Jets with a win over Young Stars, Busy Bees with a win over Solarians, Goodwood beat Strand United, Kylemore went down to Langa 25 points to 18, and then Strand with a draw against Scottsdene and Young Wesley's. Well, they went down to Manenberg Rangers 14 points to 12. Let's take a look at the logs in Super League C. Macassar sitting at the top of the pile, followed by Goodwood, Kylemore, Strand, Langa, Scottsdene, Busy Bees. Look at the points there, folks. Macassar 38 points, Goodwood 37, Kylemore 36, Strand on 32, Lunga on 31, and Scottsdene on 30. So if we just look at those numbers there, from 1 to 6 at the moment, there's only an 8-point difference, and there's still number 4 or 5 games in hand for these teams. That's why our matchup this week has to be Lunga and Strand. If you look at Lunga and Strand at the moment, sitting at number 5 and 4 on the log, and log points 31 and 32. Anything could change still here at the could change on the log in a Super League C. Jerome, if we look at that again, 31 and 32. Our log leaders at the moment are sitting on 38 and 37 points and 36. This game where these two teams are sitting at 5 and 4 on the log, if we look at these stats over here, with Lunga sitting on 67% and Strand sitting on 50%, they have played 9 and 10 games, but they are in the mix to cause an upset as well. If they win here, it's going to seriously threaten those 2 log spots, 3-4 log spots in Super League C.
Yeah, I think the team that's actually with a game in hand, Lunga, with their points that they have, so they're pretty comfortable. So if they get another win there, then they can move. They can easily move to fourth. Yeah, to fifth place, fourth place, fifth to fourth place. They can still go up with the game in hand. So they're the team that's comfortable.
Well, the thing here is, if you look at Lunga, they're sitting at lower on the log than Strand, but they've scored more season points so far. Yeah. They've got a higher win ratio. So obviously Strand have taken advantage of their bonus points to get into 4 on the log. How do you read this? Lunga's lower on the log, but they've got a higher win percentage, and they are scoring more points on average. But as I say, they're sitting lower on the log than Strand. So surely this does look like, and Lunga has got home ground advantage, this looks like Lunga could make a change on the log this weekend. If they take the 5 points, they could push them into 4th place or 3rd place on the log.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say. And I mean, Lunga at home, it's going to be tough. So they pretty much the team that's more in their favour.
Yeah. All right, folks. MChem 24-hour pharmacy is of course on board with Cape Rugby TV. Jerome Parvat is sick at the moment. He says he's going to go down to MChem a little bit later. MChem is a 24-hour pharmacy with free parking, lots of parking outside. It's on the corner of the N1 and Durban Road. In fact, when you drive, you can see this massive circle just to the left-hand side of the N1. Fantastic pharmacy, best prices. Mr. Malach and Jill and Lee there, always ready to look after you. Great little coffee shop upstairs. And for those of you that need your nails or toenails done, pedicures and manicures, there's a spa upstairs as well. So MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, we'll take a look at the rest of the results, logs and fixtures in our Western Province Club Rugby leagues.
One of our greatest assets are our fans, the faithful. And we really wanted to create something unique, something world-class. A supporter club that engaged and interacted with all our fans, not only within the Western Cape, but regionally, nationally, and in fact internationally. We have the best fans in the world, and we believe we put together the most amazing, unique and innovative supporter program. And we call on you to stand together with us. Are you one of the faithful?
Back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. Right, let's take a look now at the results in the City League. Caledonia Roses with a draw against Western Zebras. We did say that was going to be a big game to take to move the logs up and down. Hamadias went down to Young Ideas 24-18. Silver Tree 76-0 over Perseverance. Let's take a look there. What's quite important, I suppose, are some of the fixtures coming up then this weekend. But really, the last shot opportunities there might be Caledonia Roses and Western Zebras, who could squeeze in above Police. Let's take a look at the fixtures coming up then this weekend in the City League. And then you'll see there it's Young Ideas against Silver Tree, Watsonia against Caledonian Roses, and Temperance and Cities against Perseverance, Progress and CPUT Gardens, Police up against Young Ideas. So just looking at that, it is certainly a question of Kellys and Zebras that are in the mix still to get into the top 3. They just need to get well, maybe 4 or 5 points still. Let's take a look now at the results in the Southern League. Bishop Lavis going down. Noordelijke 71 points to 13. Rockland 17-14 over Titans, and Thistles went down to Retreat over the weekend. Let's take a look at the logs. Log positions, of course, in the Southern League, with Morning Star sitting at the top of the pile. Retreat still have a game in hand. Noordelijkes, Peninsula and Laguna. The interesting match that we need to look at then here, and that could still have an influence on the logs, is in the Southern League. Silverleaf up against Noordelijkes. Now, Silverleaf sitting at number 9 on the log. Noordelijkes is sitting at number 3 on the log at the moment. But with Peninsula and Laguna challenging, we could see some changes there. Laguna still have a game this weekend against Rocklands. Laguna sitting then on a 78% win ratio, and Rocklands on 56%. Now, if Laguna pull off the win here against Rocklands, we could see Laguna jump up a few points to challenge Noordelijkes and potentially challenge over Peninsula. But they want to make sure that they get into the top 3 to get into the 9 spot there. Jerome, so match up then must be Laguna and Rocklands. Win percentage there a little bit higher for Laguna on 78% than the Rocklands guys are sitting on 56%, and we could see a change on the log here if Laguna walk away with 5 points.
Yeah, and Laguna look like the favourites. I mean, the average tries is 4 per game, where Rocklands is 3 per game. So yeah, they could. And I must say, in this league, JP, they're well done to Morning Star.
Yeah,
they look like they're running away with the league at the moment.
Well, it's of course Noordelijkes themselves that will have to make sure that they take their win against Silverleaf this weekend, because if they slip up at all, then it does put Laguna in the mix to take that win. So Noordelijkes themselves, who are sitting at number 3 on the log at the moment, must secure this win this weekend to stay in 3rd place in the Southern League. Remaining fixtures then in the Northern League, playing for Pride. Emikawi up against Whistling Wheels, Stellenbosch Coronations up against Strand Pioneers, and Delft is up against Windmill United. Remember, now Springbok Atlas is of course available for your bus transport. You can see the Springbok Atlas behind me here, and you can call Rashad Lucky on 506 2572, 506 2572. Dulux Maitland at number 30 Coburg Road. You want your paint suppliers sorted out for you, then Dulux Maitland number 30 Coburg Road is there to look after you. Right, folks, as we know, you can of course join the Newlands Faithful, otherwise known as the Faithful. For just R1,000, you can join the Western Province Rugby Supporters Club. You get yourself a Stormers jersey worth more than R1,000 already. A brand new exclusive cap, R500 Adidas voucher. There is, of course, the Faithful membership card that gets sent to you. You get your official certificate of membership, bonus gifts from the various sponsors like Bright Rock and Land Rover, and of course a free trial gym access membership courtesy of Virgin Active. And then, of course, your Faithful SIM card starter pack, and all of that is going to be couriered to you directly to you by DHL. The Newlands Faithful, or the Faithful as we call them, part of Western Province Rugby. So, Jerome, you got some games coming up this weekend with Western Province?
Yeah, we playing the under-21s are playing Friday against the Bulls at Loftus. It's the start of the under-21 Currie Cup, and also the senior team are playing Cheetahs at Newlands. So yeah, busy rugby weekend.
Yeah, it's all getting started now again. The Currie Cup's on us. Everyone's been waiting. Where's the Currie Cup? So quite a few weeks of rugby ahead in the space. And of course the Springboks are playing this weekend. Jerome?
Yeah, they play Bokke playing in Buenos Aires. It's gonna be a tough one there for them, but they're looking good, Springboks at the moment.
You happy with the performance so far? Rassie is coaching a little bit different there. Eben is back.
Yeah, I think what Rassie is doing is mix up youngsters and bringing new guys to see. He's doing what a lot of coaches did not do in the past. Because next year is important. Before he get to his team for the World Cup next year, he's a clever guy, so he's doing the right thing at the moment. Testing
the waters there so far. Yeah. I love Apiwe Janchi and Mapimpi. When we saw him playing for the Kings already, we said this guy, he's got to be a Springbok player.
Yeah, and again, well done to Rassie. He's not afraid to use the guys, and he said that he's going to use the guys. You know, a lot of coaches say they're going to look at the guys who are on form. Yeah. So these are all the guys who are at the moment on form, and he used them. So yeah, well done to them.
Yeah, right, folks. That's a wrap from us here at Cape Rugby TV. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. But before we go, just our thoughts, our prayers and condolences, of course, go to the family of Nicholas Lippy Pedro. He's a friend of Cape Rugby TV. He's a friend of our crew here behind the scenes. He's, of course, was head coach at Hands and Hearts. Our hearts are absolutely broken, and we know there's lots of people out there who are thinking of the family and friends of Lippy at the moment. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. A fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.